Good morning. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. We are celebrating the full moon in Cancer that is coming to us tomorrow. So, this moon is our first moon in 2026, our first full moon in 2026. And it's very special because the moon really likes to be in Cancer, and it feels very at home with the Cancer energy because it is, the moon is very intuitive. The moon has a lot of, it's all these feelings, and it's all these things that we that that we intuit, that we feel, in our hearts and in our souls. And Cancer energy is like, and Cancer energy feeds into that because the Cancer, again, is a water sign, and it's very intuitive, and it's very much about nurturing and protection and home and intuition. And so this full moon is a really good time to look at those things that you are, maybe intuition, that you really need to work with your intuition again. Maybe some things have gotten in the way, and those thoughts just keep going round and round in your head, and you just, need to let it out, need to let those feelings out. I always know when it is the full moon, or when it's the moon is in Cancer, at any time, because I just always just want to cry. I just, all of a sudden, it will just, this feeling of just weepiness will come over me, and I'll think, oh, what is that? And I know that it's probably the full moon, or a moon in Cancer. So it does, have that release, and that time of, letting your feelings out and really acknowledging your feelings. So if something has been bothering you, or something that you really need to work with, this moon is a good time to do that. It's a great time to work intuitively. It's also a great time to look at boundaries, because you know that the sign of Cancer is the crab, and the crab is very protective. It has that hard shell around itself. It's very soft on the inside, but it has a very hard shell on the outside. And so there might be things that you do need to protect, boundaries that you need to set, things that you need to do to protect yourself and your emotional well-being, and yourself physically. It might be something that you need to do to make you physically feel better, to release something that has been weighing on you. And this is a really good time to do that. And it's a good time to check in with your home. And especially since now we're at the beginning of the year, it's maybe a good time to look at things that maybe got over the past few months, with holidays and all of these things that you might be engaged in. Look around your house and see what's working, what's not working. What do you think needs to be changed? Is there something that can spend a few minutes just decluttering here and there? And that will really help with this, with this feeling of letting go and releasing, but yet, doing it for your emotional health. And the reading that we're going to do today, and I'll have this posted afterwards, in the description and in a post in YouTube, and then I also have the reading posted in Facebook and Instagram, so you can see the questions that we're going to do here. But I want to do this with us, all of us together here today, this morning, and pull some cards for this first full moon in this new year, and just get a really nice message for this Cancer energy. So we're going to be looking at three different things. And in this reading, there's 5 cards, and we're going to look at 3 different areas. So one is nurturing, how we can nurture what needs to be nurtured, how we can show compassion to ourselves and others, and then how we can be more sensitive to our needs and the needs of others, because Cancer definitely has that two-way street of really wanting to take care of others, but making sure that they're taking care of themselves. So we're going to look at those things in this reading today. And then for those of you who left me an emoji, I have a card for you at the end, and so we'll do that when we get through these 5 cards for the full moon in Cancer. So, number one, the question is, what in my life needs to be nurtured? And so, this here, and this is for all of us, what needs to be nurtured in our lives right now? And temperance is a really good card, I think, especially at this time of year when many of us are have been really busy over the holidays, over the last few months. And now it's winter for many of us. And for a lot of us, it's cold. It's this time where things are, when we, need to be going in, and when we need to be, slowing down and being quiet and kind of honoring that balance of action and inaction, that balance of work and play, that balance of, feel of happiness and sadness. That is, a very legitimate balance there too. So this, and we can nurture this in our life by looking at places maybe where we've overdone it, where we feel out of balance, where we feel that something has tipped too far to one side. So look at that, look at in yourself, what may be out of balance for you right now. And it could be, anything that you're feeling right now. It could be maybe you didn't exercise as much as you wanted over the holidays, or you ate like me not very well over the holidays, or there's something that you really want to do, a new hobby that you want to try, something like that you really want to bring some balance in. And look at that and see what that is and explore that for yourself to be nurtured. And then the second thing that question number 2 is, how can we show more compassion to ourselves? And it's a lot of times very easy for us, I think, to show compassion for other people and not for ourselves. And so things that we say to ourselves, things that we think about ourselves, the way that we treat ourselves sometimes is just not very compassionate, because we feel like that we failed. We feel like that we have done something wrong. We feel like that we have not lived up to a standard. And that's okay if you have, something that you're working on, that you say, I'm working on this, and it's a very good, healthy goal that I want to get to. And, I know that maybe I haven't done very well with it. And that's being compassionate and being, you have this healthy goal, you're thinking about it in a very compassionate way so that you can move forward. But you don't want to be in that area where you're looking at something and you just are really down on yourself and talking down on yourself, or really negative self-talk. It is really hard on yourself. It's really hard on you and yourself, and it's really not fair, because a lot of the things that come up for us, we make it, and it's not something that is a standard, somebody else's standard, or it's society's standard, or something like that. So how can we show more compassion to ourselves? And here we have the Ace of Swords. And today I'm using, for the reading, the Magical Hours Tarot. So this is the Ace of Swords. So how can we show more compassion to ourselves? So the Ace of Swords is, having an idea, something coming along, and really looking at the idea, cutting away what is negative, what is untruthfully negative, and cutting that away and letting you look at something and in a real light, in the way that is compassionate to yourself, is fair to yourself, is looking at what you really want and what that is true to your values, and sticking to those values and being more compassionate to yourselves that way. So then, on the other hand, how can we show more compassion to others? And my cat has decided to join us this morning. This is Tiger, and she likes to sit in my chair, so she'll probably crawl back there. But anyway, number three is how can we show compassion to others? And this sometimes we, and this can be again, and I think that it's interesting that we got a swords card for compassion to ourselves, because this we can sometimes be so compassionate for other people that we forget to take care of ourselves. So how can we show compassion to others without being, overwhelmed, without being in a place where we are where we're not taking care of ourselves? So here we have the Five of Pentacles. And so the Five of Pentacles is that feeling of that you have, that you're missing something, that something is wrong, that something is, that you don't have the resources that you need. And so when you are like feeling over compassionate, or you're doing more for other people that really don't deserve it, or that you're doing it out of a sense of obligation that really isn't fair to you. And so this is how, and so then we need to maybe not do that. So we might need to cut that off. We might need to really evaluate and look at the way that we are being compassionate with other people, and asking yourself, is this in line with my values? Because the Pentacles is about values, and it's about your, your personal, how you feel in the world. And so this is, and this is the card for that. And so you can really look at that and see if you need to, and this goes back to the full moon in Cancer with the protection and the boundaries. And are you being too compassionate and people are then invading your boundaries or crossing your boundaries? And so look at that. And it might be a place where we need to really put up a little bit of boundaries, where we need to keep that protection on ourselves, so that we are able to be compassionate, and we're not being too emotional and taking on other people's emotions and heartache when it's really not ours to take on. Okay, so we've done nurturing, we've done compassion, and now we're going to move on to sensitivity. So number four is how can we be more sensitive to our needs? So how can we look at what we need and make sure that we're sensitive to it, that we're not ignoring our needs? And so here we have the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is, sometimes when you see this in a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card, you'll see somebody that's holding on very tightly to their coins, somebody that's holding on to their material things much too closely. And so it can be that we are, being sensitive, and that but here I think it's more not that, not that we're holding on, but maybe not that we're holding on to our physical, kind of material things so much as we're holding on to an outdated belief that our needs aren't important, that we're holding on to something that says you need to take care of everybody else before you can take care of yourself. You need to, make decisions that really don't align with your goals and values, because you feel like that society is expecting something different of you. So looking at that and looking and saying, how can we be more sensitive to our own needs, is to, again, it comes back to the boundaries. And I think this is a theme for this time of the year and this time of the moon cycle. And because we have this full moon in Cancer, and we want to let go of the things that don't make us feel good, and we want to make sure that we're protecting our boundaries. And so making sure that you're doing that you're looking at your needs, that you're really being truthful with yourself, saying, what is it that I need? need? Do I need, and it can be something, kind of like, I just need more space. I just need more, I need more alone time. Or you can say, I need this specifically on this day. I need to be able to, um, have 2 hours on Saturday afternoon where I can just read a book, or something like that. So it could be something very specific, or it could be something just, and if it is, something that you really want to explore more and you're not really sure how to put that in specifics, then do a little journaling, do a little path working, do a little work with this card and see where specifically that you can be more sensitive to your needs. And then the last card is, how can we be more sensitive to the needs of others? And here, I love that we're ending with the Strength card. And we started with the Temperance card, bringing things into balance so that we can be nurturing and that we can be our best selves. And then, as when we bring ourselves into balance and into our best self and our authentic selves, then we can be strong for others and we can show this strength to other people. And then we can be sensitive to the needs of others without letting their needs overrun us and do things and cross the boundaries that don't need to be crossed. So that is the reading for the full moon in Cancer. So look at those things today or in the next couple of weeks as this full moon is waning and you have this time of release and this time of kind of introspection, and look at those things. Look at how you nurture yourself. How do you nurture others? How are you compassionate to yourself? How are you compassionate to others? And how you are how you are sensitive and how you can be sensitive to others and to the needs of others. So that is our reading. And now I will do the cards for those of you who left me an emoji. And I wanted to really give a nice message, because this is a message, I feel like this is a message that we're starting off the new year. We're starting off, kind of a brand new cycle. We're going into, the new calendar year, and we're starting in, we're really moving through winter. And so we're going to be in winter, here in the Northern Hemisphere for a while. So I wanted to give you a message for this time. So if you left me an emoji, I'm going to read a card for you. And what I'm using today this is called the Love and Magic Oracle deck. And it is so cute. And it has really just beautiful messages with it. And so I wanted to give you all that left me an emoji. And I wanted to give you a reading with this card. So first up is Valerie. So Valerie, this is your card and your message. So here's your card. And Valerie, your message is, it's possible to work your way out of doubt. Practice focusing on good thoughts, like what can be and what is becoming, instead of what is. So Valerie, that is your message. And then Risa, who I know is here today, this is your message. Here's your card. And here is your message. Knowing what you don't want helps you find out what you do want. Spend more time focusing on what you want and watch your beliefs grow and desires come. So there's your card. Yes, it is. It is such a cute card, and I thought it was just great for this time of year. And Lynn, this is a card for you. And Lynn, here is your card. And Lynn, your message is, confidence is not needed to move forward in life. Focus on the very act of moving forward, and in that momentum, confidence will be found. So yours really ties into the last card about strength and being sensitive to needs and moving forward. And so, Lynn, this is your card. And then this card is for Janie. Here is your card. And Janie, your message is you already created what you want. It's waiting for you. Focus until you feel better, lighter, and then you believe, and then you know. So Janie, this is your card. Try to hold it straight so you can see it. And then Amy, this is your card. And Amy, your message is try to see only love in any situation, person, and yourself. Love wins. So this, Amy, this is your card. And this, finally, the last one I have on that dropped me in the emoji is Amanda. And Amanda, here's your card. And Amanda, your message is it feels good to feel good, doesn't it? Focus on a good feeling memory to help you out in low moments. So Amanda, that is your message. And I see Renee is here. And Renee, if you want a card too, I'll do one for you. If you are here and around, I'll definitely do it for you. Okay. All right, Renee, let me pick your card for you. All right, Renee, your card. Here's your card. Hold it straight. And your message is don't worry about proving yourself or making your mark in this life. There is no ending to who you are. Your energy never ceases to be. So there's your card, Renee. All right, and that is all that I have for today. And I hope that I'll have this posted for you, the questions for you and the cards and everything, photos of the cards. And, if you want a photo of your specific card, just feel free to message me and I will send you, take a picture of your card and send it to you. So have a great full moon time and do something that makes you just really feel good. Sit and listen to your emotion or listen to your intuition. And if you feel like that you need to just let it out, just let out that emotion and you'll feel a lot better. So thank you again, all of you, for being here, and I really appreciate it. And I'll be back again next Friday with another live reading. Bye.